Okay. Good afternoon or good morning, Principals for Accounting 2 students. As I promised you, I will have a video tape for you on bonds payable. Remember, we are still in the long-term liabilities, and the bonds are, as we mentioned in our Zoom meeting, are long-term liabilities. And this is one way of raising funds to finance our projects, or if we have a long-term project, building equipment. If we decide to finance our project through issuing bonds, that means we're borrowing money from the public. So a bond is a loan. Just make sure while you study, you have that in mind. The bond is a loan. Let's say the first thing is you have to hire a lawyer or somebody to draw a contract, and that contract is called bond indenture. Okay, it's called bond indenture. And let's say, for the sake of just this class and for the sake of simplicity, let's assume that we want to raise $200,000 through issuing bonds. Of course, corporations, they usually, when they issue bonds, they're looking for millions of dollars. Okay, we're just using this for simplicity. And let's assume that we are going to give the bondholders, the people who lend us their money, we're going to give them 6% interest. And let's assume it's a 5-year bond. Okay, let's assume it's a 5-year bond. And let's also assume that the interest is payable semi-annually. That means every 6 months. So this is the bond indenture that includes the details about the bonds. Of course, there are many clues in the bond indenture, but for our purposes, that's what we will explain. So, it's very important when we talk about bonds to know the concept of present value, okay? Because the bond is future value, how much it is today. So if it's a 5-year bond, the 200,000 are 5 years from today. How much they have to be today? Of course, they have to be smaller because there is interest included in the $200,000. Okay. Now, between the time we draw the contract or the bond indenture and the time to, because in some cases there has to be a vote on issuing bonds. Okay. So it takes a while between the time all arrangements are made and the time of the issue. Okay, the time of the selling of the bond certificates, usually in multiples of $1,000. Yeah. And so let's assume that the market interest rate between the time we decided that we're going to give 6% and the issue date, that the market interest rate, of course, is going to change. It could be the same, it could be more than what our contractual rate, or it could be less than our contractual rate. So the market, please bear in mind that the market interest rate determines the price of the bond, okay? Determines how much we get for the bonds, how much cash we collect for the bond, okay? So if, think of yourself as an investor, okay? And you want to buy some bond certificates, yeah. You're going to go to the market and look for the highest interest rate that you can obtain on your investment. You want a higher interest rate. So let's assume that our interest rate is 6%. Let's assume the market interest rate is 8%. Okay, let's assume the market interest rate is 8%. That means the market is offering more than what we're giving. So what should we do in this case? Okay, in order to attract the investor to come and buy our bond certificates, so we will have to cut down on the price of the bond. Okay, we have to cut down on the price of the bonds. So the investors are encouraged to get the 200,000. For example, if it's a $1,000 bond certificate, okay, we give it to him for maybe $800, so he gets the discount. Of course, he's going to get back the whole $1,000. So he gets the discount and the interest rate, the scheduled interest rate. All right. So that's the incentive. We cut down the price of the bond. If we give more than the market, let's say that the market rate is 4%. Okay, ours is 6%, and the market is giving 4%. So people are going to come to us. There will be high demand on our bond certificates, and therefore we will raise the price of the bond. Okay, it's just economics. You remember, guys, the demand and supply is in relationship with the price. The higher the price, the lower the demand. The lower the price, the higher the demand. Yeah. Okay. If the market interest rate is higher than ours, so we said we will sell the bond at a discount. So in this case, we will say the bond is issued at discount. Okay. If market rate is smaller than ours, okay, that means we're going to sell the bond at a higher price than the $200,000. And in this case, we say the bond is issued at premium. Okay. But if the market interest rate is the same as ours, market interest rate is 6%, that means the bond is issued at exactly the face value. All right. With that in mind, when I'm using the present value to figure out the price of the bond. Okay, there is another way. I'm going to mention it in a little bit. Yeah. So the amount of interest that we're going to pay the bondholders is 200,000 times 6% times time. So it's a semi-annual. That's what we say times 6/12. Okay, 200,000, that's the face value times the interest rate times time. Okay, 200,000 times 6% times 6/12, that give us 6,000. Okay, let me also double check that to be on the safe side. Okay, 200, 1, 2, 3 times 6% times 6/12, and that give us $6,000. Yes. Okay. So when we try to get the present value of the bond, or the price of the bond, or the issue price of the bond, those are synonymous words. The issue price, cash value of the bond, the present value of the bond. Okay, the same are synonymous words. Yeah. So we need to find the present value of two present values. One for the $200,000, the face value, and we need to find the present value of the 6,000 interest rate. We need two present values, and then we add the two present values, and that will give us the cash value of this bond. So we are assuming that the market rate is 8%. And our contractual is 6%. We're going to get probably present value is going to be less than the 200,000. Okay, so let's use the tables in our textbook. Okay, let's use the tables. The textbook in the back of it has 4 tables. 2 tables for present value, and 2 tables for lump sum, and 2 tables for 2 tables for present value, and 2 tables for future value. Okay, and for both present value and future value, 1 table is for a lump sum amount, present value of a lump sum amount, and present value of an annuity. The interest rate is considered an annuity, okay, because it's paid every period, every 6 months, every 3 months, or every year. So to figure out the present value of an annuity, we use present value annuity tables. Of course, there are formulas also. Okay. I rather this time we use the tables in the back of the book, and hopefully when we get to the finance class, we will use the formulas. Okay. So on the textbook on page, page 1150, page 1150. Take a look here for the present value. Okay, you see what does it say? Present value of $1 to be received at the end of a given number of time periods. That means this 200,000, this 200,000, okay, we're going to receive 200,000 in 5 years. How much it is today? Okay, so remember, we're going to use the market value to determine the price of the bond. So we look at the market interest rate is 8%, okay, and the payment is semi-annual, so we're going to look at, it's a 5-year bond, so we look at 10 periods and half of the 8. 10 periods, half of the 8 is 4. 676.676. So we're going to say 200,000 times, okay, let me do some cleaning here. 200,000 times the factor 10 periods and 4%, 676.676. Okay, it looked like 200,000. Here we go again. Let me show you one more time. The first column is the periods, and the horizontal is the market interest rates. Market or effective interest rate. Okay, market or effective interest rate. And also we need to find the present value of the 6,000. Remember, we said 2 present value, 1 for the face value and 1 for the interest. So the interest is 6,000, and this is how we found it. 200,000 times the contractual rate or the face interest rate times 6/12, and that gives us 6,000. Okay, so we look at different table. Okay, annuity table, present value annuity tables. But this one says it's table 2. At the end of your book, table 2, page 1152. Present value of $1 received each period. Notice that says each period, not like the first one at the end of a number of periods. This one at the end of each period. That means it's an annuity table. So we're going to say 6,000 times, all right, so we look at 4% and 10 periods. 10 periods and 4%, half of the 8%. 8.111 times 8.111. Okay, now we find the total of those. Okay, 200,000 times 0.676. That gives us 135,200 equal 135,200. 135,200. Okay, 200,000 times 0.676, and the 6,000, the present value of the interest is 6,000 times 8.111, and we got that from table 2, present value table 2. That's 48,666. All right, 48,666. Now if you add the 135, 248,666, that gives us 183,866. 183,666. That is the present value of this bond. Okay? That is the present value of this bond. The face value is 200,000, and we are getting 183,866. Is that logical? Yes, because the market rate is higher than our contractual rate. Okay, therefore we got to cut down on the price of the bond. So in this case, the bond is issued at discount. The bond is issued at discount because of the market interest rate is higher than the stated interest rate. Okay, and so how do we record this bond? What do we debit? What do we credit in this case? We're going to debit always, guys. Remember, exactly like what we did with the issuance of stocks. We're raising funds. Okay, we are raising funds. We're raising cash. So therefore, we're going to debit cash. Let me use a different color. It looks like the lighting is a little bit different because the outside is cloudy. And that's affecting the, let me see. Okay. Debit cash for what we're getting. We're getting 183. So we debit cash for 183,866. Okay. I know it's going this way. All right. It's not credit. Automatically, you credit bonds payable. Always. Automatically, you credit bonds payable at face value. Bonds payable for 200,000. Well, the credit is larger than the debit, so we're going to debit the difference, and we call it unamortized bond discount. So we're going to debit. Apologize. We debit unamortized bond discount. What's the difference between $200,000 and 183,666? 123 minus 183,866. That gives us 16,134. 16,134. 16,134. Okay, I think you can see that better. You debit cash 183,866. You also debit unamortized I write that down. Unamortized bond discount is debited for the difference between the issue price 183,866 and the face value $200,000, 16,134. Okay, that is, guys, when the bond is issued at a discount. Okay, let me do a fast example when the bond is issued at premium. Okay, premium means that let me clean this board now. All right. Now let's assume that the market interest rate is smaller than ours. Okay, ours is 6%. Let's assume that the market interest rate is 4%. That means we're going to cut down on the price. Okay, we're going to rise the price because there's to be high demand on us. We are offering 6% and the market is offering 4%. So we will raise the price of the bond. In this case, the bond is issued at premium. So we need to find, as we did earlier, we need to find two present values, the present value of the lump sum and the present value of the interest. We still have the interest still the same, 6,000, and the face value is still the same. The only thing is going to be different in this case is the value, the time values from the tables. So let's find, let me see, 200,000 times the factor, okay, and 6,000 times the factor, and we get those from the table. And if we look at the table, again, for the face value, the $200,000, we use table 1, page 1150. Again, you look over here, it is a 5-year bond, okay, and so we have 10 periods. So we're going to look at 10 and half of the interest rates and 2%. 10 periods and 2% in this case is 820. 820. So 200,000 times 0.820. Okay, 0.820. All right, and for the annuity, we use table 2. Okay, we use table 2. Okay, table, the same thing. 8%. Sorry, 10 periods and 2%. 10 periods and 2, that's 8.983. 8.983. 8.983. Okay, so let's find out the, okay, 200,000. Oh, have my calculator here. 200,000 times 0.820, that give me 164,000 equal 164,000, and 6,000 times 8, oops, okay, 6,000 times 8.983, and that gives me 53,898. Add the two plus 53,898 plus 164,000. That gives us 217,000 and 17,898. 217,898. Is that okay based on what we said at the beginning? Yes, it is. We raise the price of the bond. We are collecting an additional 17,898. We're collecting an additional 17,000 on the top of the $200,000 because we raised the price of the bond. Okay. Now this difference. Now remember, guys, even though we're collecting additional funds here, we still it will has an effect, guys, on our interest payment expense that we will recognize in the income statement. Okay. So when we have a discount, we have to pay more. We have to recognize more interest expense. Okay, when we have a premium, we have to recognize less interest expense. Okay, and we'll talk about that when we do the amortization of bond and premium. So how do we record this transaction? What we said, we automatically debit cash. We debit cash, and automatically we credit bonds payable at face value. For 200,000. Okay. Now the question is, we're collecting. The cash is 217,898. So to match for the debit to equal the credit, so we credit unamortized bond premium. Unamortized bond premium for 17,898. Okay, so we, in this case, we are raising 17,898 extra on the top of the face value, and the main reason for that is we had to raise the price because our contractual or face interest rate is higher than the market interest rate. Okay, the first example, we cut down the price of the bond because the market interest rate is higher than our contractual interest rate. Okay. Now, what happens if the market interest rate is exactly as our interest rate, is face interest rate? In this case, we're going to collect exactly $200,000. So we would have just to debit cash for $200,000 and credit bonds payable for $200,000. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to stop here, and we'll do another video for the amortization of bond discount or bond premium. Okay? And everyone have a good day now, and I hope that you will watch this videotape. First, please read the chapter, okay, and then there's a good example in the textbook too, so you can do that example to enforce your knowledge. And this is an additional explanation with me talking to you. Okay, have a good day, everyone, and let me stop the recording now.